I'm Brittany,
I'm Prince.
and welcome to
Ngozi
Forever.
Forever.
So we met online.
Yeah, I sent her a friend request, and it took like a month for you to accept my request.
Yeah.
Friend, when you have a random request and you have a friend and you guys start talking. So we started talking about, I noticed something about her, the fact that she was, she had this spirit filled mindset, and she was really in love with God and the things of God. So that gave me a very good first impression.
I had no expectation. I had no desire. I had nothing. Really, I was literally having a conversation with what in my mind was a pen pal. Our conversation started, and because we were on two entirely different time zones, we were 9 hours at the time apart. Eventually, we became 10 hours apart because of the, daylight saving. But we were 9 hours apart. So our original conversation began somewhere around like 2 in the afternoon on a weekday for me. But it began on a like Friday night, really late for him. Well, not really late, but more around the 9 o'clock, evening time for him. So we talked for a short while, consistently, just about everything. Not dating, none of that. And we didn't get into, are you married? Are you single? We didn't talk about any of that for several days. Our initial conversation was really spiritual, and we were engaged.
Yeah, so actually, when you see God's thing, it's actually God working, because while we continue talking for the 3 days, and I get to find out the qualities she has, and those qualities are the qualities I've actually, how you say you have things penned down that you want in your future partner. I had these qualities penned down for my future partner, and it happens that she has these qualities that I'm looking for, and I wouldn't, maybe it will be some other time I have to share those qualities though. But she has these qualities, and even more that, just like God superseded my expectation. So I'm like, okay. And I started, going through her page, seeing her songs. I saw one of her songs that each time I go back to that song, it's amazing. So I saw the song, and I started asking her, some, questions, like trying to know more about her. That was how my interest, started coming in, and I started asking her, because I really saw the love of God in her. And this is actually, I always emphasize it, it's actually a God thing. Like, that was just God, so.
Next question was, can I date you? And my response was, how? Like, that was my response. I was like, how in the world? How are you gonna date me? We were 7,365 miles away, or maybe even 7,635. But either way, I forget the number. My question was, how would that work? And his response is what completely took me off my feet. And his response was, I don't know, but I believe this is God, and I believe God will show us. And from that moment, I was like, okay. Knew that the Holy Spirit would lead me in that moment, because I instantly got afraid, and I was like, Lord, I don't know how to answer him, and I'm not jumping into this because I have no clue on how this is gonna go. And that began the journey for me. So I didn't give him an answer. I just left it hanging. And babe was not the most patient person Nah, I'm just kidding. But he was just like, I'll wait as long as it takes.
Yeah, because you're a princess.
And that was his exact response. And my mom asked me, why are you telling us? Type of thing. And all I could say was, I don't know. But I know I need to share this with you. Because for whatever reason, I'm not 100% of what this is. But in my spirit, I knew there was so much to come. But I just couldn't put my finger on it. And my dad was like, absolutely not. It was not his favorable decision. And he was just like, I don't know, sweetie. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And we all pretty much at the end of the conversation just committed to, God, we trust you. And if in fact this is your journey that you have planned for Brittany, we're going to trust you every step of the way. And we're going to have to look to you for the direction, because we have never done anything like this before. So that was about 3 days after his question, can I date you? And even after that conversation, it took me a few more days just to process what is happening, even though I still had no clue. And I finally told him that yes, I will date you. I don't know how, and I don't even know what we're doing, but everything in me is leaning on trusting God. I don't trust you at all. And that was pretty much the conversation. I have no trust in you because I have not grown to know you. But I do know God, and I trust God, and that is where my hope and all of my confidence was in. And that began one of the craziest rides of my life. And funny thing, it was the day of his 30th birthday.
We had to fix a time that we could watch a movie through the internet. So we were watching the same movie at the same time.
Same time.
So at different time zones, She was, I think it was in your evening.
It was my afternoon.
And it was my evening.
Yeah.
I was back from work. So.
Yeah.
So that was how we had our first date.
Some days it was a movie. Some days it was meeting family members and having conversation, learning about one another through our families. And then other days it was books, reading, devotionals. The list goes on. And that began our journey of dating one another. We began seriously dating at that point. After overcoming many hurdles, the distance we found rather quickly was very hard. So we implemented fasting almost instantly because we knew that we needed spiritual guidance regarding this, because there was no way we could do this in our own strength.
Yeah, actually, even when I got the confirmation from my spirit that this is your wife, I wasn't really like, I didn't hesitate to lay my intention known to her, and I was just telling her this is my intention. I didn't withhold my intention or try to hold it back. And I think why even we waited till June was we needed the time to know each other more and get to know more about each other. Me knowing about her culture and where she comes from, and she also having the same time to know where I come from and our culture. After that, I made the bold step and I spoke to Dad, trying to get his consent and his approval. Uh, I think before then he was hesitant, to consent to this. But I think I left it in God's hand, as I've always done. Giving God the whole thing to handle, because it's just His thing. So I left it to God, and God ministered to him in His way, and He gave me the approval, and I made the bold step, and I sent the ring to him. Actually, it was actually planned. It was a surprise engagement. So I sent the ring to Dad, and they made the arrangement for the engagement party, and she was called over to the family house, and she went over, and boom.
And my dad proposed. And my dad is not a pushover by a long shot. He don't just go along with stuff. My dad has 2 billion questions before he come into agreement with anything.
It was really hard.
It was not an easy journey, though we're making this expedited story.
Yeah.
This is our fast forwarded version. Many people know that my dad had to speak with God. He had to pray, and he had to have peace before he would move on anything. So we were engaged. We were engaged June 22nd, 2018. My dad got on one knee, and Prince asked me to marry him. And for a second, I was just like, huh? And not because I wasn't sure, but because I was just so overwhelmed with, this is my reality. This is the plan God had for me. And there were times before and other things that I was like, I really want this, I really want this, I really want this, and it was not it. And God just did not allow that to manifest. And for Babe to go from being a perfect stranger to a part of the family thousands of miles away, with the level of confidence that he had, with the amount of trust that we all had to have in God, and make it to this moment where my father would actually hand my hand over in marriage with confidence to him, was overwhelming. Arranged for us to meet up in Dubai, and I was traveling globally for the very first time. And of course, my partner in crime, Erin, she was the one to come with me. We traveled many, many, many miles, and I knew, God, this has to be you, because nowhere in my brain would I have ever done something like this. But we traveled, and we met up and spent time together, and instantly realized all of our faith was worth it.
God superseded our expectations,
Yeah.
and that was where the whole journey actually took a turn, and we started the process in full.
Yeah. The process in full. Because we knew at that point we were indeed meant to be together.
Yeah.
Forever. And we had the confidence, with everything that we had gone through up until that point, this was surely a God thing. And from that point forward, we began Babe's journey to the U.S. Originally from Nigeria, and he resided in Dubai. So we knew that we had a journey ahead of us. We just weren't sure exactly what that journey would look like. But that began our process with our amazing country that we live in. And we do call it an amazing country because it has done great things for us as a couple. But we know God is fully responsible for that. So that began our process for him to come to the U.S. And that 10-month-long process.
That was a lot. That was really a lot. But we are first of all thankful. Like, I'm really thankful. I could say we, because it's not we.
It is.
We are thankful first of all for Facebook. The owner of Facebook, because without Facebook, I don't know how this would have come to reality. And so I'm thankful for Facebook, and I am thankful for the American government, because they have the interest of their citizens at heart. And that's really great, because for the fact that there are good people, there are a lot of bad people as well. So they had a lot of processes that even the baddest of them will be screamed out in the process.
Which I believe was one of the things that gave us great comfort and confidence in our system. I know that not all things are amazing, and we don't mean to get on a political rant, but we have come to appreciate things that are set in place for us as Americans to be safe and to be protected. Even when it comes down to emotional, security, a lot of people on the outside looking in would seem to think that, oh my gosh, she's being taken advantage of, and he's gonna do this to her, and be careful. And it's not that easy, you guys, at all. And we will make a separate, video as we share more of our journey over time.
Subsequently.
Exactly, about the process and how all of that works for those, who may have that opportunity or that interest. But with all of that, we became very grateful, though it was not an easy journey.
It wasn't easy.
It was the journey that was needed. For the two of us, it's very dominant, very persistent, but very, I guess I would say determined people. We needed that test and trial over the 10-month period, because we were able to see each other in a whole nother light.
It got to a point where I was like, okay, God, I think you started this. This is what you started. I don't have a hand in it. If it's really what you had or have in plan for us, you just let it come through. If it's not, it's fine. We just trust you.
We trust you.
I think that was where it ended up.
And it was not easy.
It wasn't.
That is not an easy thing to say when you come to love a person so much. And you've grown together, and you've grown through life's challenges. You're talking about almost a year of growing with one another consistently. Actually, over a year at that point when we finally got done with the process. It had been over a year from the day that we had met. And for us, we had gone through a lot, and we have invested so much of our hearts at this point that though it was hard for us to say, we were still open for whatever the plan was. We trusted that whatever it would be, that God had both of us right in the palm of God's hand. That is what landed us here in this moment.
Ngoziforever. I will be looking forward to love for each other, to keep growing, and I can't wait for us to grow together. And we always dream about sitting on the, outside and warming up each other in our old age with our gray hair.
We're not in any rush to get gray hair. We just saying.
Those are dreams, though.
Right.
So.
The dream. Right.
So I'm really, I know God really has a lot in stock for us, because He wouldn't bring me thousands of miles away to the States for nothing. He has the plan. So I'm looking forward to His plans.
So not one of the things, but I guess what I look most forward to is really just building on what has been created. The foundation that we have together at this year and a half, over a year and a half now, that we have been together. And now today when you guys see will be a year from the day that we got engaged. I really look forward to what God want to build on top of this foundation. The two of us have great vision for our lives, but we know that these visions came not from ourselves. And we look to do great things in the earth. We both individually have always looked to do great things in the earth even before we met each other. But now that we have our purpose partners, we really look forward in a real way to change the world. What I love most about Prince, what I love most about you, Boo Boo. What I love most about Prince is that he's so patient. He is the polar opposite of who I am. I'm very logical. I'm very dramatic. I'm very over enthusiastic sometimes. And he's very calm. He truly is, you truly are the calm to my storm. I'm busy. I'm a busy bee. I am the Martha to his Mary. You know, he's the one who sits at the feet of Jesus and knows that there everything is okay. And I'm the one who's running around the kitchen cleaning and wiping to make sure Jesus is good. Like, that is literally the perfect example of who we are. But what I love so much about you is that you don't force me to be Mary. You're like, it's okay to be Martha, because even Martha has her place. But understand, there is great reward in rest. And he's not afraid. You're not afraid to challenge me in that. And I really love that about him. And beyond that, I also really, really love how he loves. His heart is a heart of gold. Oh my gosh, his heart is so big. It's so big. And I'm just very grateful for that. And he's very honest, has integrity, does not live a lie. It is what it is.
Okay. What I love about Babe, my princess, as I always call her, I really have come to love this woman here. She said about my heart, but she doesn't know. Like, I always tell her that she has a heart of gold too. I love her heart, you know. Even when she's everywhere, her heart is still tender and she's still there. And the love is still there. That really melts my heart. I also love her voice, these are the stuff that really brought me to have more interest in her. I love her voice. She has this golden voice that, you know, each time I hear it, it appeals my heart. I love that about her, and I think we just said one thing.
We don't follow instructions well, clearly.
So,
hey, it's our show.
I love you, babe.
I love you.